Metal Gear Solid. My god, this game is so fucking good. It's so good.
It's been a long time, Snake.
I should have known you were behind this, Colonel.
That's no way to greet an old war buddy, Snake.
What do you want from me?
I just invited you here so we could have a talk.
Invited? Is that what you call sending armed soldiers after me?
Sorry if they were a little rough with you. But we've got a serious situation here. Only you can get us out of it.
I'm retired from Foxhound. You're not my commander anymore, and I don't have to take orders from you or anyone else.
You will take these orders. I know it.
Excuse me.
Who's this?
Dr. Naomi Hunter. She's chief of Foxhound's medical staff and an expert in gene therapy.
Are you military?
No, civilian. I've been sent here from ATGC. Pleasure to meet you, Snake. Don't worry, this injection won't hurt a bit.
What's a shot for?
What's wrong? You don't like shots?
Snake, listen up. It all went down 5 hours ago. Heavily armed soldiers occupied Shadow Moses Island, a remote island off the coast of Alaska.
Oh, Shadows. I know a thing or two about those.
Next generation special forces, led by members of Unit Foxhound. They've presented Washington with a single demand, and they say that if it isn't met, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
A nuclear weapon?
I'm afraid so. You see, the island is the site of a secret nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Foxhound hijacking a nuclear weapon?
Now you understand how serious the situation is. You'll have 2 mission objectives. First, you're to rescue the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, and the president of Arms Tech, Kenneth Baker. They're both being held as hostages.
Those are some heavy-duty hostages.
Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to launch a nuclear strike, and stop them if they do. Any questions, Snake?
Questions? I haven't even said whether I'd accept this mission.
Well, you can make up your mind after you hear more about the situation.
Yeah. Snake being one of the best soldiers out there in the entire world doesn't exactly help him in this kind of situation. Yeah. Before I start, like, the whole mission debrief, does anybody have any questions on anything that this game has to provide? Or have y'all played through this game and I can actually skip the debriefing? Take that as a no, since I don't think anyone has played this. Gotcha. And if I'm not mistaken, the operation outline is basically how we're getting into the damn base.
Tell me about the nuclear weapon disposal facility.
The disposal facility includes a hardened underground base. Even with our most advanced intelligence gathering equipment, we can't tell what's happening inside.
So someone needs to penetrate, gather intelligence, and report back. Sounds like a spy movie. What's the
Basically
insertion
being
method?
a frickin'
Well, an air insertion
scout.
is impossible.
Not with this storm going on.
Okay.
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
Approach?
Yes, within a few miles of it. The facility is equipped with sonar detection capabilities. They'd be able to hear our engine or propeller noise.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV.
Launch?
Same as a torpedo, only this has
Jesus.
no propulsion device of its own. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim.
You want me to swim in sub-zero Alaskan water?
Don't
Yes.
worry. That suit represents the latest advances in polythermal technology. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
Thank God for some of the military speak being actually explained in the middle of all this. I don't know if anybody has been in military outside of me being a military brat. being raised by it, you understand some of the jargon, some of the dictionary definitions for it when they tell you. Like, if I were to, like, there's a phrase in the military called voluntold. You are asked in the middle of certain things that you do to help with a certain thing. Like for example, we're getting ready for a party. I ask you if you can help me with the help setting up the tables and the chairs and things like that, and you say no. Now you will be voluntold, basically, that you now no longer have a choice. You are a rookie. You are of a lower rank. You are going to be, yeah. You have to help out with this, setting up the tables. Jeez, what was the time limit again?
What's the time limit?
24 hours. They say they'll launch after 24 hours.
Jeez.
Do they say what the target will be?
So far, they haven't mentioned the target.
When did the countdown start?
5 hours ago.
Oh, Jesus. So we got like 19 hours left to do this whole entire fucking mission. Got it. So, yeah. We are definitely having to work our asses off for this. Who's in charge of the operation? Remind me. Yes, he has shorts on.
Colonel, who are you speaking for?
Naturally, I'm representing the U.S. government.
So who's in supervisory control of this operation?
The President of the United States.
Ooh.
Which means that the President must be meeting with his top aides in the map room about now, huh?
No, at this point they're still video conferencing with each other.
What?
If that's a real nuclear warhead, shouldn't they issue a COG?
Not yet. The Secretary of Defense has operational control and is fully aware of the situation.
That makes more
After
sense.
you infiltrate, if you determine they possess nuclear launch capabilities, a COG will be issued.
Gotcha.
Well, if they haven't relocated to the nuclear shelter under Mount Washington, I suppose there isn't that much reason to worry yet. Is the National Security Agency in on this?
Yes. So is the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency.
The DIA? I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this.
They'll
Same.
be sending us some support.
We don't need desk jockeys. We need a nuclear weapons specialist.
Of course. A nuclear weapons specialist has already been assigned to us.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. Then who's the support crew?
We need backup from a specialist. I'm just an amateur when it comes to nuclear weapons.
I know. That's why I've requested the assistance of a military analyst named Nastasha Romanenko. She'll be provided
Ukrainian,
with
huh?
backup by Kodak.
A female analyst?
Oh,
She's
right.
built
This
up
is
an
the
impressive
90s.
record as an advisor for the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. Contact her if you have any questions. She's also an expert on high-tech weapons.
Where's she working from?
At her home in Los Angeles.
Ah,
California. Seems like 1,000,000 miles away.
true. Especially from Alaska, it's going to be. It definitely feels like it. All right, Colonel.
Colonel, you're retired. Why are you involved in this?
Because there aren't many people who know Foxhound as well as I do.
Is that really the only reason?
I've been soldiering for a long time. I don't know anything else. I guess even though I'm getting a little old, I still love to be in the field.
Colonel, you're a lousy liar.
Tell me the real reason.
Even I know that's a fucking lie, and I haven't even played this game in a fucking long
Sorry.
time.
I'll be frank. A person very dear to me is being held hostage.
Who is it?
My niece, Meryl.
Oh. Right, I forgot about Meryl.
What was your niece doing here?
Several soldiers were reported missing the day of the revolt.
Your niece
My
was
niece
one of
was
them.
one of those called in as an emergency replacement.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Looks like you.
She's my little brother's girl.
She's only 18?
Since then, I've been watching after
2005, joined the exercise as a
motive,
novice. Ah.
That's not very soldierly.
her. I'm retired.
Has
I'm just
received
an old man
psychotherapy
now.
to not be attracted to
And
those
I'm
of the
your
opposite
friend.
sex. Got
When
it.
are we friends?
I've thought of us as friends since the fall of Zanzibar.
With my personality, I don't have too many friends.
That's what I trust about you. It's what makes you human. Please, Snake. Save my niece, Meryl.
Oh.
All right. But I have two conditions.
Name them.
1, no more secrets between us. I want complete disclosure at all times. And 2, I'll only accept orders directly from you, Colonel. No cutoffs involved, okay?
Agreed. That's why I was called. But one thing,
What?
I'm not a colonel anymore. Just a retired old warhorse.
I understand, Colonel.
Aw. You can even see the small little smirk on him. Ah, Snake, you big softy. And who's the doctor?
That doctor, is she part of this operation too?
She was in charge of Foxhound's gene therapy. She knows more about those men than anyone else.
You mean you've seen them naked?
Ooh.
Make no mistake, I'm not a nurse. I'm a scientist.
She did not take kindly
By
to
the
that.
way, what was that injection for?
It's a combination of nanomachines and an anti-freezing peptide so that your blood and other bodily fluids don't freeze, even at subarctic temperatures.
Nanomachines.
Not just one kind, either. There are different types which will replenish the supply of adrenaline, nutrition, and sugar in your bloodstream.
Now I don't have to worry about food.
I also put some nootropics in there.
Oh.
Say what?
Nootropics. A class of drugs which will help improve your mental functioning.
It'll make me smarter, huh? Anything else?
Yes, Benzedrine. It's a type of stimulant. It'll keep you alert and responsive for 12 straight hours.
Ooh.
That was quite a cocktail. Anything else in there?
Those nanomachines will also keep your Codex batteries charged up.
I guess I can call you when I'm ready to go on a diet.
You're welcome.
So basically, not only was the shots full of stuff that's gonna basically keep me up for a little while, it also had nootropics, aka gamer subs. We are not sponsored by them, but gamer subs. Remind me, who are the hostages?
The chief of DARPA and the president of an arms manufacturing company. What business did they have at a nuclear weapons disposal facility?
The truth is that secret exercises were being conducted at the time the terrorist group attacked.
Must be extremely important exercises if those two were directly involved.
Yeah.
Were they testing some kind of new advanced weapon?
I'm not privy to that information.
Do we know exactly where they're being held?
The DARPA chief has also been injected with a mini transmitter. As you get closer, you should be able to pick up his location on your radar.
Gotcha. We should be able to find them with, like, codex stuff and whatnot for it. That makes sense. Nuclear weapons. Like, how big are these damn things? Because I've seen what a nuke can do.
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuclear missile?
They say they do. They even gave us the serial number of the warhead they plan to use.
Whew.
Was the number confirmed?
I'm afraid so. At the very least, they've got their hands on a real nuclear warhead.
Isn't there some kind of safety device to prevent this type of terrorism?
Yes. Every missile and warhead in our arsenal is equipped with a PAL, which uses a discrete detonation code.
PAL.
Permissive Action Link. The safety control system built into all nuclear weapons systems. But even so, we can't rest easy.
Why not?
Because the DARPA chief knows the detonation code.
And if he gets
But
tortured
even if
out
they
of
have
it.
a nuclear warhead, it must have been removed from its missile. All the missiles on these disposal sites are supposed to be dismantled. It's not that easy to get your hands on an ICBM.
That used to be true.
Used to be?
Since the end of the Cold War, you can get anything if you have enough money and the right connections.
Yeah, we live in that kind of day and age. But they should be dismantled, right? It shouldn't be that bad. Armaments. What have we got?
How well armed are these terrorists? I know there was an exercise going on at the time they revolted.
They're heavily armed, I'm afraid.
What about their battle experience?
The 6 members of Foxhound in charge are all hardened veterans. They're tough enough to eat nails and ask for seconds.
Oof.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Foxhound.
Considering they're
The others are
top-line
next-generation
mercenaries.
Special forces. They're not your average grunts either.
And what exactly are they
So
demanding?
what exactly are they demanding?
A person's remains.
Remains?
Yeah.
To be more accurate, cell specimens which contain the individual's genomic information.
Cell specimens? Why would they want that?
The terrorists need them. You see, these next-generation special forces have been strengthened through gene therapy.
Strengthened?
You've heard of the Human Genome Project. They've been mapping the human genome, and they're nearly finished. Following up on this research, the military has been working towards identifying those genes which are responsible for making effective soldiers.
Up. There we go.
There are genes that do that?
Come on, game. You can
Yes.
work with us.
And using gene therapy, they're able to transplant those genes into regular soldiers.
I know, right? His hair is so fine.
I'll explain this part. With gene therapy, we can remove those genes which we know may lead to sickness or disease, and at the same time splice in genes with beneficial effects, such as resistance to cancer, for example.
In other words, we can overcome all sorts of genetic diseases, and at the same time add genetic characteristics as desired.
Okay. And so if you knew what genes were responsible for making the perfect soldier, you could implant them in the same way, right?
Yes, we could.
But it all depends on being able to isolate and identify those soldier genes.
And in order to do that, it's helpful if you can study the genomic information of one of the greatest soldiers ever.
One of the greatest soldiers ever?
The man they call the greatest warrior of the 20th century.
You don't mean Big Boss.
That's right. We've been working feverishly to
Right.
identify the genes responsible for his incredible combat skill. So far, we've discovered about 60 of the so-called soldier genes.
So his body was recovered after all.
Yes, and his cells have remained frozen in a cryo chamber. His genomic information is a priceless treasure to mankind.
Priceless to the military, perhaps.
His body was burned severely, but it was possible to restore his DNA profile from just a single strand of his hair.
Which is incredible, honestly.
And then you're gonna transplant those genes into soldiers?
Yes. We'll use a process that I discovered called gene targeting. The strongest soldiers don't become what they are by acquiring their skills through training or experience. We now know that hereditary factors are far more crucial for creating superior soldiers.
Snake, we can't give them his body. It's potentially more dangerous than all the nuclear warheads on that island put together.
I hear the terrorists are calling themselves the Sons of Big Boss.
The sons of Big Boss.
No fair, I have asthma. Honestly, so do my siblings, so do plenty of people that I know. And that definitely prohibits them from entering. Because they want you to be healthy, they want you to be able to take orders, and they don't want you to question those said orders. If you're able to do that, Mazel tov, you're a great candidate for military. And they will ask for medical history, too. They can remove it? Yeah. So the way that it works is like, say for example, you have some genetic information that makes you more susceptible to getting cancer. The way that gene targeting and gene therapy works is that they are able to go in, take those strands of that DNA, which causes that, out, and replace it with something way healthier for you. It's very interesting, but very situational and very expensive. So, if they have the genetic information of Big Boss, one of the greatest soldiers out there in the entire world in the 20th century, and mind you, this game came out in 1998, but the timeline for this game takes place in 2005. This takes place 20 years ago. Don't care, I'm spending my life savings. Exactly! You would think so! Now that the mercenaries and Foxhound are essentially taking over this entire place, it is now a threat that you are going to create those soldiers that are essentially not going to be fighting for the United States. They're not going to be fighting for any other enemy country, for Russia or China, like what the government wants you to believe at this point in time in the game. Or, hell, they may not even fight for any sort of third world country in, like, Zimbabwe or Iraq or things of that. Or, hell, even, like, North Korea, things of that nature. Like, anybody who's going to be a threat will be completely nullified because these mercenaries are just going to work for the person who's going to spend the highest dollar. Now it becomes a problem. Because these next generation special forces, they call themselves the Sons of Big Boss.
Tell me about these next generation special forces.
Oh, hang on.
They started out as an anti-terrorist special ops unit, made up of former members of biochem units, technical escort units, and the nuclear emergency surge team. Their purpose was to respond to threats involving next-generation weapons of mass destruction, including NBC weapons.
Oh.
Until they were added, that is.
Who's they?
These guys didn't start out as regular army.
Looks like a pretty international group. Mercenaries?
Yeah. And it gets worse. Most of them were from a merc agency that I think you're familiar with. They were part of Big Boss's private guard. And after Big Boss went down, the military just bought out all their contracts.
Outer heaven.
Outer heaven.
After that, they were merged with our own VR unit, Force 21, and retrained. If you ask me, these so-called next-generation special forces should be called simulated soldiers. They have no real battle experience.
Video game players, huh?
Hey, I resent that.
The interesting thing is that nearly every member of the unit conspired in this attack.
To describe it, like, these mercenaries don't have actual... We've only fired a gun at, like, a training range and whatnot. We've never shot at actual people. But because of the gene therapy, they're still able to have experience as if they have shot people. If that makes sense. So why take over the place?
How could an entire unit be subverted to rebellion?
They're calling it a revolution.
Of course
Since
they are.
They all went through the same gene therapy. They probably felt closer than brothers. They see the unit as their only family.
The Sons of Big Boss. But if they were regular army, they must have been interviewed periodically by army counselors.
According to their files, they all got straight A's on their psychological tests.
Which is
they all
insane.
seemed like fine, upstanding, patriotic soldiers.
But they all took part in the uprising?
No, several people didn't show up on the day of the exercise. That's why there was a resupply of troops.
Was there any sign recently that something might be wrong?
There was a report a month ago that they were acting strangely.
Apparently they consulted classified information about the soldier genes and performed their own gene therapy experiments.
They can do that even without you?
Well, our gene therapy process is almost completely automated. And besides that, they're all geniuses with IQs over 180.
Which is insane.
Even the existence of this genome army is a national secret of the highest order. We've been hoping to investigate this thing quietly and deal with it behind closed doors.
That didn't happen, clearly. And to give y'all some context on how the intelligence of it is, I have an IQ of about 150. So, when you're able to get those kinds of people on your units, when you're able to have those kinds of soldiers at your behest, now it becomes an even bigger threat.
High-tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of.
Mm-hmm.
An elite group combining firepower and expertise. They're every bit as good as when I was commanding them.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mantis, with his powerful psychic abilities.
A guy who looks like
Sniper
Pyro.
Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter.
She is gorgeous.
Decoy Octopus, master of disguise.
With his Vegeta hairline.
And Raven, giant and shaman.
With his tattoos.
And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter.
Revolver.
A bunch of folks. Too bad we'll be meeting under these circumstances.
And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid?
Snake.
Yes. And you're the only person who can stand against him.
Then who's Liquid Snake? Because I'm Solid Snake. Ha, solid.
Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake. The man with the same codename as you.
Tell me what you know.
He fought in the Gulf War as a teenager, the youngest person in the SAS. His job was to track down and destroy mobile Scud missile launching platforms. You were there too, I believe. Didn't you infiltrate Western Iraq with a platoon of Green Berets?
I was just a kid myself back then.
That's insane.
The details are classified, but it seems that originally he penetrated the Middle East as a sleeper for the SIS.
He was a spy for the British Secret Intelligence Service?
But he never once showed his face in Century House. He was taken prisoner in Iraq, and after that there was no trace of him for several years. After you retired, he was rescued and became a member of Foxhound.
I thought
Gotcha.
that by the time I left, they were no longer using code names.
I don't know his real name. That information is so highly classified that even I can't look at it.
Excuse me?
Here's a photo of him.
Wow.
Shocking, huh? His skin tone is different, but otherwise you two are exact duplicates.
I have a twin?
I don't know the details, but it seems so. That's why we really need you for this mission.
You're the only one who can beat him. Now that I've met you, I know. You've got something that he doesn't.
And that is?
I can see it in your eyes.
Why don't I find that thought more comforting?
Never played this game, but I really love the voice acting. I can definitely agree this is one of... for PlayStation 1 times. And remember, this took place, like, 1998. So this game, I was around 3 years old when this game was released. I couldn't play it immediately, but I went back to... I went back to play this after I had been highly recommended playing this game because, hey, Snake is in Smash Brothers. Might as well give the game a shot, and oh my god, I was not ready for the story. And, surprising thing about some of the voice acting, though, the guy who voices Snake here, Solid Snake, not Liquid Snake, the actor for Solid Snake, surprisingly, he's not union for a whole bunch of people. So he's actually down to voice a bunch of indie projects or AAA projects as long as you message him about that. It's really cool. Like, there was an interview he had posted fairly recently that was like, yeah, no, I gotta keep this in mind now. But yeah, after all that info and expedition dump, congratulations, Snake now has to go in and basically confront...
I need to borrow your scissors.
What
What
for?
are you going to do?
Don't worry, just gonna clean myself up a little.
Oh.
Huh?
I don't want to be mistaken for the leader of the terrorists.
That is true. You don't want to be mistaken for Liquid there, Snake. Alright, if I remember correctly, the VR training was essentially just prepping the game for me. Hello, training mode. Let's, try to get this. Head to the goal while avoid being seen by enemy soldiers. Training ends if you are seen. Got it. Woohoo, yeah!
Impressive, Snake.
Thank you. Wait, hold on. Come on. Woohoo! Made it. Yeah.
Impressive, Snake.
Boom, 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 boom. come on. Under here we go. A maid dress? Oh god, it's not the first time, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Impressive, Snake.
Find the best route and head for the goal. Some routes are less guarded than others. I know, I'm well aware. Alright, hang on. Bum 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 bum. It'll be a Snow White dress. Ooh. Boom boom. Got it. Yeah.
Impressive, Snake.
Oh, they're asleep. Made it!
Impressive, Snake.
Head for the goal without, while avoiding security cameras? Oh boy. Okay. Dealing with security cameras. Got to love it. Made it. Bop, bop, bop. Impressive, Snake. Right, their field of vision is a little weak at that. Bop, bop, bop.
Impressive, Snake.
God, I love this game. It's so, like, it's so tense. It's so tense. Be careful about leaving footprints and head for the goal. Oh, joy. Hang on. Come on.
Whose footprints are these?
Come on.
Whose footprints are these?
Whose footprints are these? Ha ha!
Impressive, Snake.
What was that noise?
What was that noise? I don't know. Whatever you wanted to believe. Ah, come on, you.
What was that noise?
You don't know what that noise was? That was me getting to the exit. Haha! Head for the goal while using all the skills you have learned. Hang on. Got it! Woohoo! Yeah!
Impressive, Snake.
Thank you. And we did it! And then it'll have like a little time attack mode for it. So we'll just save on that. Sweet!